Good afternoon and welcome to our presentation. This evening we'll be discussing IKEA's expansion into Latin America. Your presenters tonight are myself and Breanna Normandy. Moving along, our executive summary is listed on the screen. We will be covering these topics tonight in greater detail, and each of these will give you a greater insight into the unique challenges and reasons why IKEA should consider expanding into Latin America. So moving into the modes of entry, IKEA currently utilizes two modes of entry, and those are the wholly owned subsidiaries and the franchised. Excuse me. So the wholly owned subsidiaries, this path is actually utilized in 24 of IKEA's storefronts. These are located in 24 different countries. And it's really great because IKEA owns the entire business and they own all of the building and the material that goes in and out of it. So it gives them a greater sense of control. The second mode is franchised. So franchise is a fantastic relationship where IKEA still has control over items such as their branding and messaging, while the operator has greater lease on the day-to-day operations. Our suggestion would actually be for IKEA to elect for a franchise mode of entry for Latin America. This helps shoulder the burden of opening into a new area while also assessing the market for additional storefronts. This also protects IKEA's trademark agreements and provides support for the franchise owner. Next, I would like to talk with you about the international strategy. So IKEA actually lends its current success to its flexibility. This concept was first created when IKEA was made. So they have researched and based their entire business model on diversification throughout the global landscape. And this has built into the business hierarchy. So the way that you see it on your screen is the two concepts that build into the flexibility, which is the concept and practice. So marketing and pricing tends to be a little bit more flexible depending upon the area. They assess the needs of the market to ensure that they're competitive. And then the idea concept, which is the brand energy, the vision, and the principal values, those tend to be a little bit more concrete, but can also be tweaked to fit the needs of the area. So it's something that can be flexed to fit into the demographics of Latin America, which is really fantastic for them to be able to have that flexibility to meet the needs and also to really cater to their audience. Next is our objective for expansion. So as you know, IKEA is a multinational corporation and its goal is to implement successful business practices. Like I stated previously, since its inception, IKEA has been on the track for diversifying through a global landscape. International expansion has always been a focus of strategy. So as you see, we have 433 stores in 56 countries. So in order to diversify into Latin America, which is stereotypically an area that has artisan type manufacturers, they don't typically have large scale operations. So by expanding the business practices into Latin America, IKEA will actually be the first corporation of its type in the area. Bringing substantial supply chain resources will only open the possibility to conquer the last frontier for IKEA. Which leads into our opportunities and strengths. So Latin America is unique. It poses some unique opportunities in unique areas that are considered strengths and areas of growth. So it's caught between two dichotomies, and one, unfortunately, is corruption, and the other is the opportunity for growth. So when considering environmental crises, the bureaucracy within government entities, and then the tremendous and tedious amount of administration work that goes into new business entering into the Latin American market, we're kind of stuck in a difficult dichotomy. However, the advantages of opening into Latin America outweigh these challenges. The population is incredibly educated. They have a variety of untapped natural resources and an emerging economy. Latin America is worth the investment. Although the process is long and strenuous, diversification into the market will provide opportunities for international collaboration and provides opportunities otherwise unavailable outside the market, which leads us to our foreign trade issues. So as I said before, Latin America poses some unique challenges. And these are not only based within Latin America itself. Other countries realize how valuable Latin America can be to their own strategic plan. So when you look at Latin America specifically, Russia, China, and the United States all have direct business interest and invested interest into growing into Latin America. So when you consider these three entities, you have opposing ideologies, opposing government views, and opposing current political tensions that could potentially arise some foreign trade issues. Organized crime, counterfeiting, and money laundering also are concerns that should be brought to the forefront in consideration to expanding into IKEA, into Latin America. These elements could pose a potential risk to our foreign trade agreements and cause down the line issues. Bree, could you give us a further insight into concerns that we should possibly have in moving IKEA into Latin America?
Yes, thank you, Krystal. So the most crucial risk of doing business in Latin America is the continuous failure of national governance. Many of these countries are deemed socially unstable, which creates a considerable risk for a business. The most prevalent reason for the problems is societal mistrust because the government has problems communicating transparently. When the government cannot convince the people to trust them, it's a result of below average growth rates, downward forecasts, and global trade strain. Lack of employment in Latin America has diminished in recent years, but concerning low development and evaluated economic informality levels, the improvement is only considered moderate. The lack of necessary infrastructure has also prevented the region's business competitiveness. Even if IKEA is placed in a country with little political concern in Latin America, the neighboring countries still forecast issues. For instance, Venezuela has had a continuing struggle in politics and humanitarianism. Citizens have fled to nearby countries, which cause a significant strain on these economies. Next, I want to talk about human resource management. There are several strategic benefits to utilize global human resource management. Consistency, structure, and control are three of these benefits. Having human resource managers maintain consistency throughout the company and helps to solidify a company's brand and operations. This also helps lay a strong foundation for the structure of the organization. If each location is created using a similar structure and alignment, it helps to ensure the company's goals and objectives at the forefront of the expansion. Global human resource managers are also able to maintain control over the company's operations. The training and development of employees is crucial for the professional success. An effective training program can increase the efficiency of the operations in multiple locations and reduce the danger that can arise from cultural miscommunications. Next, I want to talk about globalization with the expansion. So, as we all know, globalization leads to increased competition. This competition can be related to products and service, cost and price, target markets, technology adaptation, and quick production by companies. When a company produces with a less costs and sells cheaper, it can increase its market share. Customers have a large multitude of choices in the market, and this affects their behavior. Most customers want to acquire goods and services quickly and more efficiently than they have before. They also expect high quality at low prices. All these expectations need a response from the company, otherwise, sales of the company will decrease and they will lose profit and market share. A company must always be ready for price, product, and service and customer preference because all of these are global market requirements. The next subject is global disbursement. To efficiently coordinate a global dispersed production system, the first step is a complex system theory, particularly on how agents in these industrial networks interact and how that provides possibility for coordination. IKEA must educate an issue of coordination and planning, as well as examining new solutions and challenges for logistical problems and collaborations in engineering networks with the internationalization perspective. These methods and tools offer pathways to the development of integrative approaches. The impact of globalization should be discussed for both managerial decision making and operational performance of the supply chain. A strong emphasis is placed on the need for continuous decision making with recognition of the fact that networks of loosely connected agents require different approaches. Both researchers and professionals will welcome dispersed manufacturing networks. So the last subject is IKEA's projections in Latin America. So since South America is a new region, IKEA is likely to open 2 or 3 markets at the same time to ensure supply and production. IKEA Group includes the business operations of the IKEA franchisers, range, supply, and certain industry activities. IKEA franchisees purchase products from the IKEA Group companies and pay a franchisee fee based on retail sales. IKEA itself reached a total revenue of 23.7 billion euros and included wholesale to retailers, franchisee fees, and the retail sales of the IKEA store and the net profit of 1.7 billion in this fiscal year. So in conclusion to our whole project is IKEA's expansion into Latin America's forecasts an abundance of opportunity. For IKEA, strategic planning for the move must take place ahead of time. This company will continue to utilize the mode of entry with franchise owners remain flexible and bring new style furniture to the region. Although there will be hurdles to overcome, IKEA can overcome the obstacles in the global market through human resource management. Partners with this reconnaissance requires to execute the expansion thoughtfully, and IKEA will surely profit from this diversification.